In this video, I'm going to be sharing a step-by-step process on how you can get PGC plus QTS admission. Yes, you heard me right. It gives you an opportunity for you to come into the UK. If you're already in the UK, you can get this opportunity too. You don't need to be a teacher. You just have to show that you have interest and you're passionate about teaching physics or other languages. That's for non-UK teachers. But if you're a UK teacher, that's a different ballgame altogether. So this particular video is for non-UK teachers. And if you are interested in finding out how you can grab this opportunity, PGCE and QTS, then watch this video to the end, because I'm going to be sharing how you can apply, what you should prepare, the documents you need, the step-by-step process, everything you need to know about the interview, and how to land this great opportunity. If you are meeting me for the first time, my name is Cynthia. I share information that will help your transition abroad to be as smooth as possible. I share information about settling, working, or studying in the UK, US, or Canada. If you're interested in any of these countries, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so that each time I drop a new video, you know it's time to watch Cynthia Academy. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your love and support. Today, it's time for teachers to shine. Please, I want you to get your pen, your paper, and write down. I have made some plans for someone that has this experience to come on and share their experiences with you, and I will interview the person. You guys can be able to ask questions and, get clarity on some things. My third client has gotten this opportunity yesterday, as in she landed this opportunity. It comes with bursary. It's like a scholarship. Everything is paid for. Do you know what it means? That you can come into the UK, or if you're already in the UK, your studies is being paid for. You will get your PGCE, Postgraduate Certificate of Education, and QTS, Qualified Teaching Status. Without a QTS, you cannot teach in England. Yes, you can teach for only 4 years. After that, you can't teach. You must get your QTS within 4 years if you are in the UK. But it's so important to have a QTS because it's like a teacher's license. Now, for teachers, if you want to grab this opportunity, you have to understand that there are only a restricted number of subjects that the UK will sponsor you, give you student bursary on. One of my clients, the last person, just made a mistake. She just applied to different universities looking for PGCE. That's not how you go about it. She started that process. She contacted me. I explained to her, this thing you're doing is the wrong thing. With this, you will not get funding from the DFE, which is the Department for Education. The Department for Education is sponsoring only physics and other languages, and there are some specific languages they have listed there for non-UK teachers. Now, you must not be a teacher to be able to grab this opportunity. You just have to show interest. So the first thing you're going to do is you go to the Get Into Teaching website. Some people find it difficult to locate this part, but this is where you go. If you go to the non-UK teachers tab, you scroll down to the bottom of that page, you will see an email, this email here, and also this particular link. You have to send an email to indicate your interest in teaching physics. Please, they don't sponsor biology, chemistry. That is for UK teachers. Some of you are confusing it. They don't give bursary for other aspects. The only aspect they give bursary for is for physics and other languages. If you speak French, Spanish, German, then you can actually use this opportunity. When you contact the DFE using this link, they will assign you a teaching advisor or mentor. The person will be in communication with you through WhatsApp and email. And during this period, they will try to assess what your interest is in. If you clearly state that you're interested in going into physics, they can guide you towards getting that particular opportunity. Now, they will tell you to prepare your supporting information, and your supporting information should be top notch. It should be well written, because that's part of what you use to submit application for admission. Now, another thing you need to understand about using this pathway is that if you come in as a student, it's a study visa. if you come in as a student, because you're sponsored by the government, you can still bring your dependents. I've told people it's not all master students or postgraduate students that are not allowed to bring their dependents. Of course, people who want to pursue a master's in research can bring their dependents, but if you are pursuing a master's of sciences and you are funded by a government, it mustn't be UK government, but if you are funded by a government, you can bring your dependents. That is what the rule states. Now, if you are in doubt, please go and contact your student services of different universities and ask them. They will give you well-informed advice, and you can check on the government website online to see if you qualify, if you're in doubt. But this particular route, like I said, if you are coming in and to get your studies being sponsored, that's through the student bursary route, you are sponsored by the government, and because of that, you can bring your dependents and they will pay you extra for each child you have. That is a fact. But you have to show genuine interest in teaching physics. It's not for every subject out there. So, and you must not be a physics teacher, but you must show genuine interest that you're interested, because most of these universities, before they give you admission, they will want to see if you have taught or you have been in a position of teaching or tutoring and stuff like that. You have to show genuine interest that this is something you have been involved with, and I think it will increase your chances if you can include such a thing in your supporting information. Your supporting information is also important that you indicate that you have interest, that you have good knowledge of the UK curriculum. I know some people who, because of the place they teach outside the country, and they have this good exposure to the British curriculum, they have been able to indicate that on their supporting information, and this can increase their chances of being selected for admission. They don't give it to everybody. Now, your teaching advisor will give you a form. For that form is where you're going to fill. Is an online form where you would be able to include your details. And one very important thing is that before this stage, it's so important for you to carry out this ECCTIS, that's UK NRIC. That is to verify that your WAEC as well as your first degree is, of the UK standard. So it's kind of a verification of your certificate to say it's of UK standard and it's sufficient for you to go ahead with the process. This takes a while to carry out, and sometimes when you apply for it, it could take up to 5 weeks. So I would say the first thing you should do is to submit an application that you want a letter of comparability for your WAEC as well as your degree. That's so important. Your first degree, I didn't say your master's, your first degree. I don't know if they might need that of master's. If you can afford it, you can do that. But the most important thing is your first degree. That is what is used as having a good foundation in that aspect. There are some schools that this thing is not in physics, that's your first degree is not in physics, they will not accept you. But there are some schools that don't mind. So don't allow that discourage you. With my clients, they had some challenges along the way, and I encourage them through that process. You need to know how to fight for what you need. Now, when you pass through that particular stage, you've submitted that form, in the process of submitting that form, you will have to tick maybe 4 universities at a time. Some of them don't give both PGCE and QTS. You might try to choose the ones that would give you both a PGCE and QTS. Remember that this study will I think it's 9 to 10 months plus. That's how long your training will be when you enroll for the particular program. So some would turn you down, some will accept you, and then you will go for an interview. Now, the interview procedure can differ from school to school. It's so important that you know that. Some would just say, okay, your interview is going to be for 3 hours. Some, it might be a total of 5 hours. Just prepare yourself. If you're outside the country, just know that you need to get your generator. I know what I'm talking about. Your petrol, your internet should be strong, because everything could last for a very long time. You don't want any interruption of power in the process of carrying this out. I remember when I was back in my home country, I had this interview with my supervisor, and it was crazy, you know. My generator just misbehaved, so I had to run to a friend's house to get hers and use it for my interview. So I know what I'm saying. Just prepare yourself. For her, she said she had this subject matter exam that was meant to last for 3 hours, but she finished within 2 hours. So you have to read very well. Go and study the physics for secondary school, you know. Study very well to understand it so you can pass that particular stage. Now, after writing that exam, the next thing she did was they gave her like a written task to see whether she understands what it takes to be a teacher, you know, what are the qualities of a good teacher, how she was going to bring engaging learning and teaching in the classroom to engage the students. She did that. Now, after that, they went into the interview stage. Now, that interview stage, it's so important that you show that you understand how to teach students. So they might tell you to prepare maybe some slides for 15 minutes, something like that. I remember my 2 lecturing jobs, I was asked to prepare, you know, engaging in lecture for 15, I think one was for 15 minutes and another one was for 8 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that. So you have to pay attention to the time. You should also make sure that you start in a very interesting way, you know, and make sure you include your learning outcome. That's, you always tell the student what they are going to learn, list them out, and after teaching, make sure you end with what they have learned. So there's a way to structure your learning. If you have studied in this school, you notice that all lecturers start like that. Every master's class, they start by introducing you to this topic, telling you what you're going to learn. They list everything, the learning outcome, and then at the end, they tell you what you have learned. So, and also try to make it engaging. One thing that set my friend apart was she prepared worksheets. She made it engaging. It wasn't only about her teacher-centered style, which is the old school style. She tried to make it as interactive as possible. It feels weird because those people are not students. They are the people interviewing you, you know. It feels so weird, but when you pass the stage and you wow them, and that's it, you've gotten it. They congratulate you. You get that email that you have been given that admission. That's amazing. Then you fill the bursary form, and if that is approved, now the next stage is how they can enroll you. That's to accept your admission. There are some things that they will check. Of course, you provide them with your UK NARIC, but there's one common thing among all my clients, including this other client I have that is going for SEN teaching. You know, that one is a different ballgame altogether. If you want me to create a video on how you can get bursary to teach in under special education needs, please let me know in the comment below. So this other one is really interesting that they asked that both of my clients from different schools or entirely different people, they asked that they should write GCSE. It's really strange because they have a bachelor's, a master's, they've written their WAEC, they passed, you know. They've also used they've also used the UK NRIC to evaluate their WAEC certificate to show that it is on par with that of UK GCSE. So why are you asking them to write, you know, GCSE? And so they have to go and pay for it and write online. That's what I find so strange, but it is what it is. I hope that one day somebody would correct this problem in the system, because if you are already in the UK, you are maybe you are British or you have an ILR or you have written GCSE, you will not be asked to write another GCSE. But it seems like they are finding it difficult to accept WAEC. That's the West African, you know, secondary school certificate of examination. So if you were accepted, maybe you came in through this route and you were accepted and you were not asked to write GCSE, please write it in the comment below. I would like to hear from you. I want to understand why it's one thing that they're encouraging people to do. So for this, my last client that just got her admission and she has just submitted her bursary, application, I hope they don't tell her to write GCSE because it sounds so strange. In fact, you have achieved and completed your master's and then they tell you that you should write GCSE. Wow. So I hope you benefited from this video. You will like more videos about teaching, how you can get into teaching, or maybe you want to know how to go about getting bursary for SEN. That's to teach people with special education needs. Then put it in the comment box. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.